So one of the things that I wanted to do is build an earth bag tower, basically like a platform, maybe 3 or 4 feet high, wide, and then put a ring of earth bags around the water tank to help protect it, keep it cool, protect it from vandalism and stuff like that. You could even put a lock on it, so that. But, I mean, it would still be sticking out of the ground and visible. Or you could actually do that in the ground, and then you could bury it. But it wouldn't be cheaper unless you were doing that all yourself, because by the time you hire a laborer, you've paid for a below-ground tank.
So if you have this installed, it's a, and you can put this outside of your house, raised, using gravity flow into your house. You can pump from your well into this and keep recirculating your water.
Exactly, and that's really an ideal way to do it. I mean, even if you had to use a hand pump, the hand pump could be close to your tank. You pump and you fill it, and you don't have to try and pump it, 300 yards or wherever your house is or whatever, and then gravity feed it to wherever you're going to use it. And we're actually going to probably do something like that.
Well, that makes sense. So you elevate it close to the well, and then it gravity. Oh,
because it's much easier to pump water with a hand pump to something close that's only a few feet high. When you start pumping it, even to a house that's 50 feet away.
I feel like I just had a blinding flash of the obvious here. Okay.
So now would you talk about the plastic that it's made out of?
And just so for people that are worried about the plastic, we did call, and the answer we got was from Exxon. Apparently they're the ones who make the plastic, and it's NSF 61, which is a certified potable water plastic. They say it has no biphenyls in it.
Where are the tanks manufactured?
Snyder tanks are manufactured, the ones we get are like south of Bakersfield, California.
So they're manufactured in the United States?
In the United States, yeah, all the tanks are. They're too expensive to ship them to do it somewhere else. There's plastic manufacturing really all over the place. There's a lot of different places that do it. But the little companies usually bite the dust because the competition is too stiff.
Well, it's always nice to know that something's manufactured in the United States.
Yes.
Well, so what about if somebody wants to put one of these above ground tanks? What if they want to slide it into their garage, for example? What if somebody doesn't have a big acreage or whatever? Will that hurt their concrete? Is it too heavy for that?
No, it shouldn't, because it spreads, the concrete pad spreads the weight out.
You wouldn't want to put it on a wood floor, though.
You wouldn't want to put it on a wood floor. Although they do have tanks that are called water closets that will fit through a door, a normal door. In general, you're going to need a pretty big garage door to get a big tank in there. But we've had customers on, out in the boonies that actually built a whole special pump house just to put a tank in. I mean, they were waiting for the tank to go in, and then they were going to finish the front,
Oh, I see. Okay. Build around it.
Build the shed around it.
Build the shed around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's walk around and look at some of these other kind.
Well, we have just ordinary 55-gallon barrels that you can just...
See those all over the countryside?
Yes.
And what was in these?
Olives or pepperoncinos, or some had capers or garlic.
Wow.
Whole barrel of pickled garlic. I know.
That works for me.
Dive in there. Okay.
And I've heard that you can actually, someone came one morning and said she Googled how to take the pickle smell out of a barrel and got very complete, thorough instructions, which we should find and put a link on our website.
Okay.
We'll do that for this article.
Excellent.
Okay. And do people put barrel pumps on these barrels?
You can.
Or would you just dip in there and with a bucket?
You can. That's the simplest thing, is just to dip in. Of course, you risk contaminating your water.
Oh, there you go.
But you can put a barrel pump on them. These are not plumbed, so you'd have to cut a hole and put a 2-inch bulkhead fitting in.
Now that I know what one of those is.
4 different sizes of bulkhead fittings.
Okay.
Those are the cheapest. Those are $8.
Okay.
The biggest ones are $18.
Okay.
So we also carry 2 bung barrels, but we're out and we have a long waiting list. But those.
Well, what is a bung? I've heard you talk about a bung, but what's a bung?
So a bung are these 2 things on the barrel, And there's two different kinds of threads usually. And the fine threads is regular pipe fitting thread, male pipe thread, and that's what your barrel pump would screw into.
Does this lid come off?
No, that's the downside. You can't get in there to clean them.
It's not a good idea to keep these stored outside for years, which I did, and the plastic disintegrated.
Did
on
it
them.
really? Someone else
They
told me
just-
that too, but
They
I've
just
never
fell
had that
apart when I
happen.
went to move them.
Really? I'm assuming maybe that there are different brands, and
That
some
could
of
be.
them are okay outside, and some of them aren't. Because we've had some outside for at least that long. In fact, I have my original barrel, my original rain barrel that I got in 1979, and it's been outside all this time.
Does it have the ones I had were empty? They were
Oh,
just
that could
stored,
make a difference.
sitting there empty
Huh.
with nothing in them, and the sun deteriorated.
Right.
them, that when I went to finally move them, they just crumbled
Oh,
into
no.
these little pieces.
Not what you want to find
No.
out when you're.
Well, but like you
Dependent on
said, they
them.
could be different kinds.
All right, so I have another question that's probably really silly, but this is what you're calling the bung. How do you get that open? How do you twist
There's
that?
this tool called a bung wrench, and you can order them.
Ah.
I don't know if there's a place you can buy them directly, but you
Or
can
you can
order
take
them
a pair of channel locks
and really fight with it. It's if when they're screwed in there really good, they're really hard to get open. And this is also you can put a smaller pipe in here, or you can just like when they use these barrels, they just knock a hole in it, and then see how that one is down there.
Oh,
and
I
then,
see.
And then that lets the air in, so you can pump it out.
I see.
That's
Where is it?
And some of them are threaded, so you can actually stick a smaller pipe in that hole if you want, like those little screw spigots.